AITA for blocking my brother's fiancée after she announced she was pregnant. I'll explain the situation very quickly and I'll do my best to not leave out important details. I, F33, been married for over 7 years and I've been struggling with health issues that prevented me from having a healthy pregnancy. I've miscarried 3 times and both me and my husband are becoming frustrated and we've literally lost any hope. This has clearly become a sensitive topic for us and I can't help but feel absolutely horrible whenever I think about it. My brother Sam and his fiancée have been together for 2 years now. She's a bit rude and would constantly bring up the fact that I can't have kids by making backhanded comments. For example, she told my mom and dad after I miscarried for the 2nd time that the family won't have any grandchildren till she and my brother have kids, and talked about how much pressure I must be feeling since the clock was ticking because women over 30 have less chances of having healthy pregnancy. Even implied that my husband will eventually leave since he had a right to have his own kids since I can't give him that. As a result, I've distanced myself from my brother and my family because she was present at their house the whole time behaving like this. I had my 3rd miscarriage this past week and I'm still dealing with complications both physically and mentally. I got a text from my brother's fiancée the next day, literally after I got out of the hospital, that she was sorry I miscarried and that she was happy to tell me she was pregnant. In the same text, I couldn't help but notice the sarcasm in her text, especially when she decided to invite me to my own parents' house to celebrate, completely disregarding what I just experienced. I showed it to my husband, then I blocked her immediately. She found out and she told my whole family. Told them that I blocked her right after I found out she was pregnant and used the fact that I didn't visit because I was being resentful and jealous. My brother was angry that I blocked her. He told me I was clearly being bitter and disrespectful. My brother keeps parroting her words and won't even see anything wrong with her behavior. It's always been like this, but now it's worse since she's pregnant and everyone is trying to please her. That I ruined this for them and that I shouldn't hate on my future niece/nephew out of spite. Both my mom and dad weren't happy with what I did. Mom even tried to say my husband made me do this because we're too bitter to be happy for my brother and his fiancée. The extended family heard the news and said they were shocked I did this, saying that I'm always known to be a nice person who doesn't pull this type of nonsense. I didn't feel like what I did was wrong, but now I do. I feel so horrible, but given how she treated me in the past, I figured she did this deliberately. NTA, I suppose she happened to leave out, in her retelling of the incident that caused the drama, that she did this in the same text message as offering condolences on your miscarriage, shortly after you left the hospital. Miscarriage, especially repeated miscarriage, can be traumatic and people underestimate that. I'm not arguing that you get a free pass on never hearing the news of a pregnancy. Alas, people will continue to get pregnant and it will hurt, but you do get a free pass on not wanting to hear about it immediately after leaving the hospital for a miscarriage that is sort of still ongoing, in the same text message as one mentioning your miscarriage. If she hadn't known about the miscarriage, maybe she wouldn't be the asshole. If she had waited, maybe she wouldn't be the asshole. If she hadn't started shit with the whole family instead of trying to reach out privately, yes, even blocked, there are ways. Maybe she wouldn't be the asshole. Alas, she did all 3, doubling down on, at best, intense obtuseness, or active attempts to make you feel bad at worst. Yes, it was obviously deliberate, but she managed to make it look like him being bitter and jealous. Can't even show up at my family's house and receive the support I need right now. She was able to use the situation for her advantage and got them thinking that I was being bitter. Natasha, show everyone the texts she sent you. She's doing this on purpose and she sounds like a psycho. Exactly, NTA, she was trying to rub it in your face. You don't put the 2 things in the one message and she could have held off for a few days after to tell op. You need to show your family the message and read it out how perceived her tone to be. NTA, there's appropriate times to announce a pregnancy. The same text as consoling you on a miscarriage is the exact wrong time, and she knew that, and she did it anyway. If you want to discuss why it was so inappropriate, and make sure to include the past advice for your husband to leave you because you're apparently such a bad wife, then go ahead, but I don't think it's necessary. She's a big girl. She knows what she's doing. NTA. Did you show them the text? Show exactly why you did it. She used her announcement to make another dig at you. Disgusting. As like that shouldn't be enabled or supported. No, I haven't seen them after this and they didn't give me the chance to explain. Even if I did, they think I did this because of the fact that she was pregnant, but she was being rude and disrespectful to me even after I went through this awful experience. AITA for telling my stepsister and mom that even though her mom died, I also lost my mum too. When I was 6, my mom remarried to my stepdad. He had a 3-year-old daughter and his wife passed away in a car accident the year before. Even that young, I could tell my mother's attention was not on me but my stepsister. She catered to her every need, saying it's because she needs a mother figure, which I get. She was enrolled in many sports as a kid while I wasn't in any because there wasn't even money. She did 3, I did none. My mom would buy her the newest clothes and shoes and technology and I would have her hand-me-downs. She basically treated my stepsister like her daughter and I was an afterthought. While my stepsister had my mom and her dad, I had nobody. My dad was never in my life. They would go on family vacations without me. My stepdad loved that my mom prioritized his daughter over me. When I was 10, they decided they couldn't give my stepsister the attention she deserved with me in the house, so they sent me away to live with aunt in a different state. For 3 years my mom had basically no contact with me. I would answer the phone and it was always my stepdad or stepsister. My stepsister would say her mom's busy and hang up. She would tell me to stop calling because if my mom wanted to talk to me, she wouldn't have sent me away. I went 6 months without talking to my mom once. My aunt hated my mom for the way she treated me and told me I deserved better, so she basically became a surrogate parent. When I was 13, she ended up passing away from complications from a disease she had been suffering from. I was so heartbroken and my mom reluctantly allowed me to move back in after consulting with other family members to see if they would take me. I tried to justify it to myself as a teen that maybe she just doesn't want to a mom, but she was a mom to my stepsister. She would post her accomplishments on social media, parade her around the family as her golden child. She even said she thinks my stepsister looks more like her than I do. I remember as a kid before they married, my mom was so attentive and loving. Then she chose my stepdad and stepsister over me. I'm now 16 and I hate my life because of them 3. My stepsister is a bitch and whenever I bring up the differences in which we're treated, she says her mom is dead and I'm selfish for not wanting to share my mom. Yesterday we got into an argument after she went through my clothes and she said I'm unwanted and that my mom is more of a mom to her than she is to me. In front of my mom, WHO smiled, then looked at me to see how I would react. I said your mom might have died, but I also lost my mom too. You can have her. I'm already an orphan in my eyes. My stepsister started crying, saying that I'm disgusting for saying my mom is gone when actually it's her mom that died. My mom co-signed and said I should be ashamed of myself for trying to make it seem like I don't have a mom and I'm an asshole for the comparison. NTA. Your mom literally abandoned you. She just doesn't like being called out. Please find a job and start saving your money. She will kick you out once you turn 18, so be prepared. Use this time to figure out your next moves. If you're planning to go to college, you will need her to cooperate for FAFSA. So don't burn the bridge yet. Once you leave for school, go no contact. Move on with your life. My mother is a narcissist and has always disliked me because of my dad. My sister was totally favored over me. I am now successful and happy. My sister's been in and out of jail and cost my mother her retirement savings to keep her out of prison. Your stepsister's entitlement will follow her into adulthood. It will affect her career and personal life. She will be the one that makes your mother regret her actions. Edit. In my haste to give advice, I forgot to say NTA. Forgive me, I'm new to Reddit. NTA at all. Your ma doesn't have the right to call herself your mom. She gave that away when she decided she wasn't going to pay attention to you. You have every reason to be angry. I'm sorry for your loss. I'd be tempted to call her by her first name from now on for that exact reason. But as someone else wisely said, you've got 2 years left. Don't make it harder on yourself. NTA, you did lose your mom. Being a mother is a verb, not a noun. Biologically she is related to you, but she stopped being your mother a long time ago. AITA for asking my husband not to bring his friend around. My 43F husband, 45M, has a friend Todd /39M, that he has been hanging out with since we moved to our new state for work 5 years ago. When we first moved here, I struggled to find a new job. Todd would make passive-aggressive comments about how nice it must be to have someone support me. When I told my husband about it, he told me that Todd was joking and didn't mean it. I told him that it offended me and that I didn't find it funny, and he told me that I was taking it out of context. Since then, Todd has made more offensive comments. Last month when I brought my husband a coffee and some food to his work, he was working overtime and was tired and hungry. Todd saw me in the parking lot and remarked about how nice it must be to have a wife that brings coffee and food on command. I told him that I was not a dog, and do not talk to me like that. The next day when he saw my husband, he told him about the conversation we had in the parking lot and said that I was rude to him for no reason. So I told my husband what he said, and I told him that I will not be spoken to like that. My husband told me that I need to relax and that he didn't mean to be rude. Last week was the last straw. I replaced my phone after 7 years of having it. I had been saving money for 6 months to pay straight cash for the new phone. Unbeknownst to me, my husband had ordered it for me as a surprise. I was so excited and happy to finally have a phone that worked right. The night that I got it, we went out to dinner and ran into Todd while we were waiting for a table. Apparently he knew that my husband was getting me a new phone, and even remarked how spoiled I was and how hard my husband works for me to just spend his money. I saw red. I told him that first of all I didn't spend his money, he did. That I have a job and more than capable of buying my own phone, and that he was a petty, jealous asshole who was angry because he can't find a girlfriend who will put up with his crap, so he takes it out on me because I'm the only woman who will speak to him. We ended up just going home, and my husband gave me the silent treatment the whole ride home. As soon as we walked into the door, he told me that I embarrassed him. I told him that I was embarrassed when his friend told me that I was some kind of money-grubbing leech, and he just stood there and allowed it to happen. I told him that I do not want Todd around anymore and that he wasn't welcome in the house. My husband thinks that I am overreacting, and that is just how Todd is. AITA for asking my husband not to bring him around anymore. I don't know what Todd's problem is that he's so rude to you. And I don't know why your husband isn't being supportive and shutting that shit down. You were right to call Todd out on his rudeness and misogyny. This guy has been nasty to you for 5 years, and your husband has never put a stop to it. That's just how he is no excuse for putting up with rude behavior. And if your husband brings him around, you should find a way to split the scene. NTA. You tried to talk to your husband about how Todd makes you feel multiple times. Your husband ignored you, so you eventually snapped. Tell your husband he can marry Todd if Todd's feelings are more important than yours. I guarantee you, if the shoe was on the other foot, and you had a friend disrespecting your husband, they would be banned, no question. It really says something that your husband is more comfortable letting Todd make jokes that make you uncomfortable and upset than just asking his friend to please stop. He values his man credit with his man friend more than your feelings. Todd isn't joking, he's saying mean things then using the age-old duck. I was just joking. You just don't have a sense of humor when a woman pushes back. If it's just a joke, it shouldn't cost you anything to stop when you realize it upsets someone. The only reason you wouldn't stop is because the goal is to upset someone.